Claudia Tripp is an artist from Perth in Western Australia who was a grand finalist in this year's Toyota Star Maker competition. She released the single I Only Miss You When I'm Drunk late last year, and she now has a new single, I'm Never Drinking Again. Hi, Claudia.
Hi, how are you going?
I'm very well, thank you. And I think the obvious first question to ask is whether those songs are related to each other.
It would seem it. I feel like, I don't know what it is about country lately, but so many drinking songs have inspired me. And that one, I really wanted to do a song that I was like, if I sing it to a crowd, most people have said that in their lifetime. So yeah, I'm Never Drinking Again was born.
It's a pretty wistful song though. There's a slower tempo to it than the last one, and it suggests a more reflective state of mind. So I'm wondering if that was the case when you were writing it.
Yeah, definitely. I was very lucky to collaborate with some awesome people on this one. I had written that chorus idea, and then I brought it to the amazing Rachael Fahim, and she co-wrote it with me. And then when I took it into the studio with MSquared in Melbourne, they just brought it to life in a whole new way. And we co-wrote most of the, or rewrote most of the verses. So very much collaborative effort. And it just ended up as something so much more and so much different than it started with.
So did you rewrite it because when you went to record it, they had a different idea of what style of song it was than the one you had?
They were quite similar. I think just trying to get the story told the best that it could be. Yeah, and there were still lots of lyrics that were work in progress and stuff. So taking it to them was just like polishing it all off.
And you and Rachael experienced collaborators, as in experience with each other. I know you both written songs with other people.
Yeah, that was actually our first ever co-write. And yeah, we've kind of followed each other online for a long time. And yeah, I love her music so much. So yeah, it was the first collaboration, hopefully many more.
So does that mean that you sent her a message or something, said like, or vice versa, like, hey, we should do something together?
Yeah, I think it was COVID as well. Like lots of co-writes happened that kind of time in lockdown. So
okay. Because I'm imagining that was a Zoom co-write for you because you're on the West Coast, she is not.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I've the only co-writes I've ever done have been on Zoom, and only about 3 or 4 of them. So everything else has always been me in my bedroom. So it was a very nice change.
And I suppose that is a limitation for you being in Perth because so much of country music and music in general is on the East Coast. And while there are some great things, I'm sure, about being in Perth as a musician, I know the last time we spoke, you talked about how many gigs you play. So there are obviously venues there, but for making those connections, even just the logistics of getting to Tamworth, for example, would be tricky.
Yeah, it's I guess it's good now with social media. The world feels a bit smaller, and I've been able to collaborate with everyone. But it's a long travel time. Always happy to do it, and I'm always super excited to get over there. And yeah, I'm not sure what the next few years will bring. I'm hoping to travel over a lot more, but yeah, it does make things a bit tricky. Yeah,
it's not like you can jump in the car that easily. The Nullarbor is a bit of a hindrance. Yeah,
it'd be a long drive.
But speaking of Tamworth, you were there earlier this year because you were a grand finalist in the Toyota Star Maker competition. Now, even though it was a few months ago, I do want to know what your experience was like because it is a really big deal, Star Maker. There's a lot of preparation. There are months leading up to it. You need to pick songs and rehearse. So overall, what sort of experience did you have?
It was amazing. Working with Cheryl and Tom and the whole team was just really great. And for me, that was my second ever Tamworth. So it was such a good experience to, meet so many more people, do a few more shows than I usually would. It was so great, so great. And everyone that was a finalist, we all were just like such good friends. And that actual final night was so much fun. We were all just partying backstage to everyone's songs, and so beyond happy that Lauren won. She's amazing.
So was your first Tamworth last year or before
2020?
2020. Yeah. Oh, okay. The pre-COVID one. Yeah. Yes, you've only been there in January, which is good. And presumably being from Perth, you're used to heat. So performing in the January heat wouldn't have phased you.
Yes, it does get really warm, but I love it. It's so nice to be out in the outdoors and not have it be rainy or cold.
Did you have a chance to see many other shows while you were there, or did Star Maker keep you pretty busy?
No, I tried to get to as much stuff as possible, and I booked to be there the complete duration of the festival just to see as many people. But I think, and everyone can probably relate with Tamworth, there's so many people you want to see, and like you kind of have to make sacrifice and choices because there'll be 3 people on at the same time. So I was just going from gig to gig, so it was really great.
Now, you mentioned the final night, which is held in Bicentennial Park in Tamworth, so it's an open air venue, usually a pretty big crowd. Did you feel a bit daunted with the size of the crowd? And it's a really efficient production, that Star Maker final, so I guess it kind of goes past in a blur.
It was really great. I hadn't played that main stage of Tamworth or any kind of main stage like that before. It was really awesome. And I think I just went into it just wanting to have fun. I just wanted people to hear the songs that I've written. That was the main goal. And yeah, really good. But a few months prior, I had just done Telethon, which was held here at Perth's Arena. So I think that I got all my like scared big stage nerves out there, so I could just properly enjoy Star Maker.
Because you have been doing a few festival sort of things. I saw you played at the Muster, Perth, sharing a stage with Lee Kernaghan and Casey Chambers, amongst others. So I'm guessing that was a big festival.
That was amazing. I think they had about 15,000 people there in the end, it was so good. They reached out to me and said, we'd love to add you to the lineup. So it was a really nice experience. And yeah, such a good crowd. Everyone just loves country music there. And it was my first muster, so really good.
Was it related to the Denny Ute muster, or it was just a different muster altogether?
I think altogether different, but there are so many, and there's so many popping up now where I'm like, which ones are related?
Yeah. And I do think technically it can be quite difficult to play those shows. Just people from the audience may not realize, but you're bumping in, you're bumping out. There's a lot of color and movement. It's sound check is not exactly, even if you have one, it's not a sound check with the audience there. So it's a different sort of experience. So I guess it's exciting, but yes, as you said, it's a bit nerve-wracking as well.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think one of the main things was it started raining a bit. So they have to bring all the foldbacks, back to the stage and trying to figure out what we're going to do. And it's a bit touch and go of when are we going to play, but it was really, in the end, it was like cleared up by midday. So all good.
Yeah. And it must have been lovely to have them reach out to you. You must feel like, oh yeah, people know who I am over here.
It was so nice. And I think they wanted someone local, and it was just nice to have been on their radar and be the local one. Cause it was nice to have like country acts come to WA, because a lot of the time it's like me going over there to see them. So really nice to have everyone here in WA for once.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you enjoyed being an audience member too once you performed.
Love it. It's an event I would have gone to either way. So really enjoyed it.
And you've also been pretty busy supporting Travis Collins on his recent tour. Now, Travis is an incredible live performer, so you probably enjoyed being in his audience as well after you played each night.
Yeah, he was so great. And him and his whole band were so nice. And it was just so great to catch up and to see that show. Amazing live show.
And it must be really gratifying for you to you're releasing some songs, you're working at your craft, you're playing live, and then to have these opportunities come up. It is fantastic. It's
amazing. And I've been so lucky the last like 6 or 12 months with so many supports, like Daryl Braithwaite and Russell Morris and people like that who I love that like old rock music. That's it's been so much fun to do all those gigs. So I just love it. I love being part of people's shows as a support. It's really great.
Which is a great attitude to have, because you could go the other way and you could think, oh no, these people don't know me. What's going to happen?
No, it's so nice. And I always kind of make the joke on stage and just say, like, because so many people stick around and then they say hi after. Some guy at the Travis show got me to sign his head. And it's like, I always make the joke of, thanks for sticking around when you guys aren't here to see me. You don't know who I am. You're just like looking at the time waiting for the main act to come on. So it's really nice when they go into that show wanting to discover a new artist. And I think a lot of country music fans do that. So it's a really nice feeling.
And I suppose that's where all your experience as a live performer comes to the fore, because you are used to playing in lots of different sorts of venues, you and your guitar, and trying to entertain people, but also hoping they'll pay attention. So when you're in an environment where people don't know you, I guess, that's not so different from what you're already doing.
Yeah, totally. And I've played so many of my gigs that I do regularly are a cross between playing when nobody really wants to listen and then playing when people really want to listen and are so engaged. And so I think I've gotten to a point where I'm super ready for anything. Happy to be listened to, happy to not be listened to.
And I also realized when I asked that question, it sounded like I was saying, no one knows who you are. No, I just mean in that pub environment. It's
No,
tricky
no.
because everyone's talking, you know what I mean? Like there's so much noise and stuff going on that people can just ignore the musicians. They want the music there, but you know.
But also it's a very fair point. I haven't been in the country scene that long. I've been playing music and playing live music for a really long time. So especially in Perth, a bunch of people know me, but I'm very new to the scene, and especially country music. I feel like I'm very fresh. So yeah, I'm just want to get into as many lineups as possible.
Yeah. Well, you are succeeding at that, and I presume you're still playing quite a few gigs around town too.
Yes, yeah, as much as I can, really. I love a band cover show every once in a while is always good fun, and yeah, trying to do much more original stuff, and especially with the new release coming out, I've got my own headline show in a couple of weeks to launch that. So yeah.
And have you had much time to write some other new songs? As in, are you looking ahead to recording some more?
A little bit, yeah, locking in some recording sessions, always writing on my own, but definitely want to try write with more people in the near future.
Well, this song has worked out beautifully. As I said, it is quite a wistful song, and I was expecting something. I was expecting more like a "I'm never going to drink again" song, and it was more like, "Oh, yeah, not drinking again because it's sad. You're sad." But yeah, it's a lovely song. So congratulations, and hope to hear new music from you soon.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for everyone to hear this one.